Hey, Azure Data Factory fans. Sorry about that. Welcome to this month's What's New for Azure Data Factory. Hopefully my audio is okay. If it's not at any point, just put it in the chat. I'll try to take a look at that. Um, it's snowing today in New York, or it was earlier, so working from a little bit of a different environment today. But welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's doing well. Um, we will kick things off in a little bit. Actually, why don't we go through the blog now? So let me share my screen. As usual, if you are looking to get our monthly updates, you can navigate to our tech community blog. Every month, we'll put out a Azure Data Factory monthly update. So this month is the February 2023 monthly update. If you click on that, you'll see everything is pretty much similar week or month after month. So here you can get a quick link to our monthly live stream if you wanted to join easily or if you wanted to replay it. We have our table of contents. So what's new this month are a few things. One, for Azure Blob Storage, now we support anonymous authentication. Two, there's a new SAP template to help you easily move SAP data to your ADLS Gen 2 in Delta format. So I can show you where you can find it. For monitoring, this is something that that you might have seen, but previously the container monitoring view was only available in the preview experience, but now we've made it available in the default ADF Studio without the preview experience. For orchestration, we have this new thing called setting that allows you to set the pipeline output. So that's really exciting, and we'll walk through that today. Managed airflow was also something that we dropped earlier in February. That was a really big deal. So hopefully you were able to catch some of the demos that we've done on that through Reactor. We also have some videos on all over the place. So I'll drop that in the link so that you have the resources and can go look at that in a little bit. Also, something new that we added quite recently is the dark theme. I'll walk you through how you can enable that in your factory too, and hopefully that will help with your productivity. And if you wanted to get more details on any of this, we have screenshots, we have links, so you can go through and scroll through and read a little bit more about it or get more detailed information by going to the docs page or any of these links that we've included here. Does anyone have any questions? Cool. And we also label all of our blogs. So if you wanted to be able to go see any of our other previous blogs, especially the monthly blogs, you can just click on these tags and it will have all of them categorized for you, which is awesome. And if you wanted to just subscribe to the label, you can do that too. That way you get an alert when something new is posted. Otherwise, you can see all of our new announcements here. Awesome. From our What's New, you can also navigate to our docs. So if you click up here, boop, it'll take you to our What's New page. And if you go to our Azure Data Factory documentation, I think we talked about this last month, but we do have this handy dandy new update square at the top left that talks about what's new in Azure Data Factory. So it'll add in a few new things that we've been posting about or new items that you might want to read a little bit more about. So we've got change data capture in here, manage airflow, and something that we're going to share a little bit more about are these two new white papers that we wrote. One is how to manage your data factory costs with FinOps, and the other one is how to manage your environment data ops. And so these are a little bit new in our docs page, but definitely go through and read it if you want to learn a little bit more. So this one talks about how you can apply FinOps to Azure Data Factory. We have different sections. So we've got examples, how you can budget, how to track your spending, and more. And then for data ops, kind of walking you through how you can achieve data ops in Azure Data Factory. So talking a little bit more about CI/CD, about governance, um, testing, and more. So definitely go through and take a look at that. Awesome. So let's just jump in and go through our demos. So for today, gonna walk you through. Can you all see this? I hope yes. So the first thing I want to show you is dark mode. So this is something that you can enable in your settings in your Azure Data Factory like portal settings. So let me make sure that you can see this. But if you go to the top right corner, you've got the little settings button. If you click on that, you'll see this new section here called theme. So if you want to switch to dark mode, click dark and it'll automatically kind of show you what the preview looks like. If you like what you see, go ahead and click OK, and it's all going to be in dark mode from here on out. If you wanted to disable it, go back to Azure. Easy peasy, but definitely super helpful, especially if you have a lot of eye strain. Go ahead and give that a test. Something else that I wanted to show you was the new updates that we had to change data capture. So you may have seen us talk about this in the past month, but we have this new top level resource for change data capture. And so one thing to keep a note, one thing to keep a note of is that this is only for gathering incremental changes. So if you do decide to create a new top level change data capture resource, it will not like do a full load at the beginning. It will only capture the change data. So if you do want a full load, you could use a pipeline copy activity, or you can use a data flow. In data flow, you have the option to do CDC as well. And then you can also specify that you want a full load and then incremental changes afterwards. But for the change data capture, we have two exciting updates. The first of which is the set latency options. We now have this new thing called real time. So this will be micro batches that run less than a minute. And again, for the change data capture top level resources, they do run continuously once you've set them up. So if you want to be capturing data in micro batches, you can now set the granularity to real time. And then once you click start, it'll just continuously run until you stop that. Something else that is new is that previously we had manual mapping. So if you've seen some of our previous videos, once you've selected your source and target, you can go ahead and do the column mappings yourself. And so here you can see that I've got my source columns and they're all mapped to my target. And I can provide transformations on top of that. Now what we have is something called AutoMap. And so you might have seen like AutoMap in some of our in our pipeline activities and in data flows. We're bringing this to CDC as well. So once you hit AutoMap, it'll automatically map the columns for you. It's pretty straightforward. And it will also detect schema changes. So if you wanted to detect schema drift, you can use the AutoMap option. And when you do have a manual mapping, we do give you the option to data preview to see what it looks like before you start it. We also have this option in the AutoMap. So let me show you what it looks like here. This is pretty similar to what you'd see in data flow. So this shouldn't look any different. It take a little bit. There you go. So this is all pretty similar to what you'd see in data flow. You have the option to export. You've got all your columns out here. And if you did any transformations, you'd be able to see them down here as well. When you automap, you still have the option to data preview. You no longer need to manually map your columns, but you can take a look at your data here. So there you go. So those are the two big updates for CDC. If you wanted to see how it works, um, go ahead and take a look at that video that Mark posted to the YouTube channel. For the sake of time today, I'm not going to do that, mostly because we do have a special guest with us today, and that is Charlie, who is also on the team, and he is actually going to be walking you through the new update, setting the pipeline return value. So, Charlie, let me bring you on. Do you want to share your screen real quick and I
Hi.
can do that?
Yeah, I can share my screen real quick. Just give me a second. Let me try to get it set up.
Yeah, yeah, no worries.
Share screen.
And welcome. You've never been on the live stream before, so this is super exciting.
Yay. Yeah, I think this is the first time that I have ever been on the live stream. Just give me a second.
Yeah,
Let me
no
know
worries.
if you can see it.
Yep, I'm adding it to the stream right now. We can see your screen now.
Yeah. Hi. My name is Charlie, and I'm a product manager on Azure Data Factory side, specifically covering more on the orchestrations and the pipeline stuff. Let me know if you can see it now. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see
Hello?
everything.
Okay, cool. And again, as I said, I'm more covering on the orchestration and the pipeline runs and trigger stuff. Today, we're going to talk about this exciting new feature called pipeline return value, and especially how you can use it in a metadata driven data processing pipelines. So, as we know, a lot of you guys have parameterized your pipelines, and you have very complicated pipelines that call out subroutines as part of the data processing jobs. For instance, you have a shared common processing to cleanse your data. Then, depending on the outcomes of the that steps, you might take additional steps to say what you want to proceed next. Very common pattern, for instance, you'd use a query to query your SQL table for some cleansing job. Then you will say, hey, I want to post the outcome to a specific endpoint using web activities, or set or do something else here. Today, we allow you to do this with this pipeline return value. Think about this. What this means is you're now able to set the outputs of your child pipeline and carry the values back to your calling pipeline. Okay, let's take a look at this example here. This calling pipeline has two parts. One, it has a child pipeline and expects some values to be further used down the stream. In child pipelines, it is doing some sort of data processing. We're just using a web activity in place right now, and it will set the values to be used on the outer side later. The way you do it is you will use a new set variable activity. Specifically in the setting, you will choose it to use the variable type pipeline return value. This way, it will set a system level pipeline return value that will be carried through for your child pipelines. This pipeline return value is a mapping object. It allows you to give a string of key value pairs, however you want to determine. You can use expressions to reference the outputs from the previous activities. You can use a constant string. You can use integer values, or you can use advanced complicated objects such as array and even a mapping object itself. We'll go through each one in a detail in a little bit. Then outside, this pipeline return value will become the output of your execute pipeline activities. And you will be able to reference this output activities as any other activities, for instance here, using this particular expression. Activity.output.pipeline return value dot key name. In this way, you're able to pass information from your child pipeline to your main pipeline. Are there any questions so far? I can't really see anyone, so please. To give you a very simple example, let's just run a debug run here. Hi, hello. We just kick it off with debug run and we'll show you what we meant by it. So remember, this execute pipeline activities is using this calling this pipeline, and it will set the pipeline output value here. Then this output values will be further used in the next steps and calling referenced what these are. So we'll go in and see the output will become the input values for these activities here. Okay, now let's go into detailed steps about these activities here. As we said, you can use expression builder to reference the outputs for your previous activities. So in some cases, for instance, if you have a script activity that is querying your SQL table, you can use expression builder to reference the output of the script activity here. Const, well, you can do your constant value. Think about this is telling the pipelines where to call next in your callback URL. For some reason, we're calling Google for now, but yeah, you can do that here. You can use integer, you can use boolean, and you can use null. And also, as we said, complicate values such as an array of strings and even a mapping object itself. If you wanted more details about how to use it, please reference the documents that we have for this particular project. Now, here's the thing that we want to call out is in the main pipeline, you have to make sure that the key value you're referencing in the previous steps exists. So, or otherwise the pipeline will fail because we don't know which key you're referencing here. In some cases, it's very common that you will have branching in your child pipeline, such as here. Like I want to set a different set of variables when it succeeds versus when it fails. Like in this case, my success branch versus fail branch both have the set variable activities. We would kindly ask you to have the same set of the key names here and use this specific type of a value, the null value, as a placeholder to cross out all the keys that doesn't make sense for the specific branching. This way, your outer branch will be able to reference the keys regardless which branch the child pipeline actually took. Otherwise, you will have the unknown key issues. For more interesting stuff, please look forward to new sharings from the orchestration team, and we have more exciting features coming next month. Thank you, and have a great day. Back to you, Noel.
Thanks, Charlie. I'm actually going to go back and share my screen with me again. You can see my face. Hi. So while Charlie was walking through his demo, which was awesome, by the way, thank you, Charlie, for joining and being able to walk us through set pipeline output. Hopefully that was helpful for all of you all who have not tried it or have tried it. Hopefully you learned something new. But while I was doing that, I was running a pipeline so that I could show you the new monitoring view that you can use in your default studio settings now. So if you have containerized objects, so if you're running a for each for an if else or something like that, you now have the option to switch to a container view, which gives you just a little bit more of a condensed monitoring view. So here you can see, I'm actually going to turn my dark mode off real quick. You can see each of the activities that was running inside of your for each. And if you had lots and lots of activities running, so, I only have 8 going on right here, but if you had maybe closer to 25 or 30 or even more than that, you can actually use the caret button to collapse it. That way you can see more of the activities that are running on one page. So that was a new update instead of this. Cool. And then the last thing I was going to show was the new template for SAP. Oops. Here you go. So if you go to pipeline and you create a pipeline from template, you can search for SAP, or you can use any of these categories to filter. Also, easy way to find it. Oops. But here you have it right here. This is the newest template, which is helping you to replicate multiple tables from your SAP source to ADLS Gen 2 in Delta format. So if you haven't tried this or you feel like this will be helpful for you, definitely take a look at this template. It'll help you get started a lot quicker. All you have to do is select your SAP linked service and then your ADLS Gen 2 service. Sorry, this is the SAP and this is your ADLS Gen 2 service. I do not have the SAP service set up, but if you wanted to, you can create it from here. And you just have to enter in all your data and create a new connection. Awesome. And last thing I wanted to walk you through is just make sure that you're staying up to date with our new releases. Up here, you'll find our updates button. So if you click updates, you'll be able to see all of our updates. And you can go ahead and read through all of these release notes. So for example, managed airflow, big deal. We also include quick links for you to be able to read more documentation. So here's our blog, and it'll take you to all these other docs as well. So make sure that if you see a little number up there to definitely check this out because it'll keep you up to date with some of the cool updates that we have. So pipeline return value, here we have it right here. Expanded set variable activity, which is what Charlie just walked through. Yeah, data factor everything. Yay. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions while I have you here? Okay, cool. Last thing I wanted to show was our Azure Data Factory community resources. So you might have seen this before. I don't remember if I brought it up last month, but here are a bunch of quick links to help make sure that you can stay up to date or keep up with us pretty easily. So we post a lot of updates on our Twitter and on our blog. There's a short link right there, aka.ms/backslash ADF blog. If you memorize that, you can get to our blogs really quickly. And we also have a short link for our YouTube channel, so aka.ms/ADF videos. And that's where you can find a bunch of tutorials. You can find our live streams there as well. If you've been watching it recently, we definitely have a few demos there on CDC, and we're going to be dropping one soon for set pipeline output. And we also have a link to our ideas page. So if you have any ideas or feedback that you'd like us to consider in terms of adding to ADF or improving ADF, we'd love to hear it. Make sure to post your idea there or tweet at us and make sure to tag at AZ Data Factory. As for all the other stuff, just some more helpful links to get more up to date with the product, making sure that you have a forum to ask questions, and other ways to get started quickly and to learn more about EDF. Awesome. Well, if no one has any questions this month, that's okay. Thank you for joining. We're excited that you are here and we're able to spend some time with us. Hopefully, the demos were some new things that will help you in whatever your data solution building needs are. And yeah, thank you so much for joining this month. If you do have any additional questions, feel free to post them as comments in the videos, or feel free to tag the YouTube channel. I think you can do that too. But thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.